Hello everyone, it's good to see you. I'm being guided to do a general collective reading today, so let's just dive right into it. I haven't received any messages yet. I'm hearing keep it simple. So if anything, that's part of the message, right? When life gets really complicated and overwhelming, all you can do is keep it simple. So let's keep it simple and just start pulling cards. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot for us today. Let's see what messages Spirit wants to convey. If this message resonates or you find it helpful, then it's for you. And if not, no worries. Just leave it for someone else or return to it at a later time. Oh, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, let's pull a couple more. Judgment. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so there's a misconception. There's a misconception that Spirit wants to talk about. And that is that when you're in alignment with something, in other words, when you're in integrity with something, when something is right for you, when something is the highest and best path for you, there is a misconception that it's going to be the easiest path. And that's not true. There is a difference between devotion and force, right? Devotion requires effort, energy, focus, commitment, time, and patience. Force, on the other hand, is like bashing your head against a brick wall over and over and over again. There is a monumental difference between the two. So the misconception, essentially, is that, especially in the spiritual field, which I assume most people watching this are, when you're in alignment with something, then everything is just gonna be like flowing downstream, and it's just, everything is gonna be laid out before you like the red carpet, right? And everything is easy and everything is effortless and you're just being handed everything you want, right? That's not true. There is effort required. There is devotion and commitment required. So if you feel like you're in alignment with something and then a challenge presents itself, do not automatically assume that that challenge is a sign you're off track or you're out of alignment. Challenge is not a sign that you're out of alignment. It's not, okay? I always come back to this analogy because it's so good and it's so true. It's just timeless. Think about growing a plant from a seed, right? You can't just throw a seed in, a little pile of dirt somewhere on the ground and just be like, well, yep, okay. If it's meant to be. It'll just grow by itself. No, like, you need to protect it. You need to water it. You need to give it the proper conditions. Some might say you even need to speak loving words to it, right? You need to nurture it. And that process of nurturing requires commitment. You have to show up every day for this little seed. You have to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. That's effort. But that's what will nurture the seed into a plant. That's what will nurture the slow and steady pace, is what will nurture the seed into a full-grown, beautiful, balanced plant, right? You will only find your higher purpose through challenge. Challenge is part of life. Contrast is part of life. So do not back down or back away from challenge. Simply get very curious. And you'll know if something is right for you because it'll be worth the price. It'll be worth the cost. Anything else want to come through here? I'm just hearing don't back down. Don't back down. Don't back down. And the message came through actually the other day just for myself personally, but I feel like it's relative to this. There is incredible benefit to conflict and challenge. You know, sometimes we spend our whole lives trying to avoid conflict, when in fact conflict is the nutrition or the soil required to create the alignment we want and the life we want. It is only in conflict sometimes that we know who we really are and what really matters. So don't back down, and don't assume that conflict means you're out of alignment, right? Any other messages here? The Emperor. Ooh, well, that is beautiful. That sums it up. I mean, look, okay, we went from nurturing the seed to the beautiful balanced plant to the full-grown tree. You know, the question is coming up for me, through me. How do you find that balance between structure and flow? I suppose you would whittle that down to masculine versus feminine, right? But how do you find that balance? In the spiritual community, it's very, very, very easy. Let's say the New Age spiritual community. It's very, very easy to say, well, I'm just going to go with the flow, right? I'm just going to be in the moment and go with the flow, and if it's meant to be, then it'll be. But with that kind of attitude, you know, the seed will never grow. The seed will never get the consistent nurturing that it needs to grow. So while going with the flow and being in the moment is a critical element of life, so is consistency, so is structure, so is devotion, and showing up even when you don't feel like it. How do you find the balance between those two? I think that's the question that I want to leave you with, because I think that just opens up a whole beautiful philosophical conversation that is far too big for me to have just talking at myself here. So I'll leave you with that question. Be sure to check out the description box for that question, as well as several others that I will create based on this reading. I hope that this helped, or was at least thought-provoking. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next reading.